Welcome to the X Factor presented by Xfinity alongside the Pro Bowler TJ Lang. I'm Dannie Rogers. Here in Week 16, the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. Lions are going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons have yet to win a game, although they are 6-8 on the season. So we are breaking down who needs to be the X Factor for the Lions, who needs to be the X Factor for the Falcons. And we're going to start off with Atlanta. TJ, you're going with a rookie this week. Who you got?
The rookie, Kyle Pitts. Freak athlete, I'll tell you. Just looking at this guy, 6'6", 250 pounds, runs like a gazelle, good run blocker when they put him next to the tackles. Explosive playmaker downfield. You look at his stats, he's a leading receiver, got 55 catches, almost 850 yards, only one touchdown, right? That kind of sticks out a little bit. They tried to get him the ball in the red zone for whatever reason. You know, he's stuck on that one, but I know that he's their biggest playmaker. They line him up all over the field. They line him up in the slot. They line him up next to the tackle. They line him up split out wide a whole lot against corners, where pretty big disadvantage for those smaller guys. And some of his best plays this season have come on just simple go routes, right? Just go line up, just go run, and go make a play. And he's made a lot of really nice plays in the passing game. And it's hard to cover this guy one-on-one with a corner, just when you look at not only the speed that he has, but the size that he has. The separation that he can get going up high point in the football is a very important skill that he has that just makes him a heck of a playmaker. And really, watching their tape really last 6, 7, 8 games all season, I mean, he seems to have one of these every game where they line him up wide, they play defense plays one-on-one, and they just throw him a go ball and say, go get it. And he's able to make the majority of them. Now, another weird stat is he's got almost 95 targets and he's got just 55 catches. So some of those you can tell are miscommunications with the veteran quarterback and a young player being a rookie. But he's a guy, when they tell him just run, make a catch, he can make you pay. And he's got some traits and some skills that make him a very dangerous player. And this is just, Matt Ryan's still a good quarterback. He can put the ball anywhere on the field. Kyle Pitts is his number one guy, and he's the number one guy they got to stop.
Just to put in perspective how good Pitts is, he has the chance to break a 60-year record set by Mike Ditka for the most receiving yards by a rookie. So he needs to get to 1,076 receiving yards, 850 right now. I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance he can do that, especially if he catches some more balls like you just said. Okay, Lions X Factor, you're going with a committee this time. Who you got?
Just a whole unit, right?
Yes.
I think it's difficult last week to follow up last week's X Factor performance, Charles Harris.
You nailed it, by the way.
12 tackles and a couple sacks, a couple TFLs. What a game for him. I mean, you have to be so happy for Charles Harris. But this week we're going with the unit, right? These 5 guys up here. And you can even throw in some of these tight ends and fullbacks and receivers. These guys like to block too. But this offensive line, I tell you what, when you have an offensive line that dominates a football game like they did against Arizona Cardinals, you have a chance to win every game you're in. When you control the line of scrimmage, when you run the ball, when you protect the quarterback, you're always going to have a chance to not only be in the game, but win the game. I don't know if any of these guys got game balls this week. I'm sure they all deserved it, though, because they played some really fantastic football. This was actually the opening drive, the 3rd and 5, right? Everybody's thinking probably pass. The Cardinals were. I mean, they've only got 4 linemen in. Majority of the game they were playing was 6, trying to stop that run. But they bring in their 4 linemen, the pass rushers. Detroit says, we're going to throw a curveball at you. We're going to run the ball right up the middle. What I want you to see, though, is the push, right? The ball starts right here at the 32-yard line. Watch where these defensive tackles end up by the time. I mean, that's 4 yards of movement down the field. That is just impressive, and that's really, really hard to do against NFL defensive linemen, and you pick up the first down, boom. I know the key last week was keeping Kyler Murray and that offense off the field. They were able to do that early in the game with an 8-minute drive. Only got the field goal out of it, but they kept Arizona on the field. They kept those guys cold. They kept them not able to get out here and get into a rhythm, and that was a big part of the 3rd down conversions, running the ball, that the offensive line really did a heck of a job. I want to show you this back view because I know these 5 guys right here just absolutely dominated this play, but take a look at that mismatch. Khalif Raymond weighing about 160 pounds going against an all-pro Chandler Jones, and I know he's not going to pancake him, but he just does just enough, right, to keep Chandler out of the backfield and keeping that from being a tackle for loss. Craig Reynolds hits the backside cut, and boom, it's a first down. Those little things add up. You know, when you're talking about running the football, these guys try to get you the 3-4 yards, right? These guys try to get you those extra 4 or 5 yards that turn into those 10, 15, 20-yard gains. The receiving core, I've been impressed with the way they blocked. Khalif Raymond, there's no way anybody should scheme that to where he's one-on-one blocking Chandler Jones, but he does a fantastic job, and it's a big conversion for the first down. Now, the way they were able to run the ball last week, everything meshes up, right? You have to get into a rhythm offensively. You can't just go out there, any, mini, miny, mo on the play call sheet and just pick one and call it. You have to develop the game plan as the game goes along. You have to run the ball. You have to match up the play actions with it. This was obviously the first play after Amani Oruware's incredible interception, get the momentum back, right? Little play action fake to the left. Everybody bites on it. How about the honorary offensive lineman, Jason Cabinda, all the dirty work that he's done all season long, opening up holes and getting downfield and throwing blocks for his guys and grinding on special teams, rewarding him with the touchdown. This is what happens when you're able to effectively run the ball. Look at all of these Arizona Cardinals when this ball is snapped. They're all going to just they're all expecting run. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows who to cover. Wide open. That's when you get to finally reap the rewards of running the football and being dominant on the offensive line. When those play action calls come into the huddle, you know you got them. You know those linebackers and the safeties are going to be flying downfield, and you know all you got to do is protect, and there's a big play waiting to happen. And Lions hit on a couple of those against the Cardinals that really turned that thing into a blowout.
If you take in consideration the offensive line, the amount of games that starting five have actually played together, it's kind of rare, the amount of games that they played together, either due to COVID, illness, or injury. So what can you say about Hank Fraley, the offensive line coach, and what he's been able to do in that offensive line room when it comes to the next man up?
Yeah, Hank's been a stud for the last couple of years. Much like the running back group, no matter which combination of guys are going in and playing, you're still getting very good production from those guys. You look at the rookies, McCollum, Tommy Kramer making another start against the Cardinals, Matt Nelson having to fill a large role in the first half of the season with Taylor Decker being out, Will Holden getting some time in there. They've got 9 or 10 guys that have played meaningful snaps in NFL games, and not one of those games did you look at and say, oh, the Lions offensive line struggling, they're outmatched. They've done a heck of a job of getting those guys ready to go, and that's not only on the players and the leadership that they have in that room to make sure that the standards and the expectations are high, but that's also on the coaching staff, getting the young guys ready to go, getting Ryan McCollum, getting Tommy Kramer ready to go, and building their confidence to let them know you're a starter now. Go out there. We expect you to produce like a starter. Those guys have stepped up to the bell every single week. Injuries happen. They stink. Nobody likes them. But you know what? When you have guys, Evan Brown, another guy who's played majority of the season, stepping up at center, had himself a really nice season so far. It says a lot about the players, but with Hank Fraley, it says just as equally about him and the job that he's doing getting these guys ready to go.
It sure does. Okay, Lions looking for their 3rd win in the last 4 games. That sounds awesome to say. Okay, Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. Lions will be heading down to Atlanta on Christmas Day for a December 26th matchup. That was the X Factor presented by Xfinity.